Good morning, Dr. Transformers. Hey, you guys, how is it going? Thank you so much for all of you who joined the group. And today is the kickoff of the 5-day Bloat Buster Challenge. I'm not gonna lie, when Nicole and I wanted to do a challenge, this was actually for selfish reasons. Guess what? The pool opens this weekend. Is anybody freaking out like I am? Raise your hand. Give me, give me a thumbs up. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Angela and I turned 40 in January. I know. Give me some hearts if you are watching live. And I'm feeling it. Not gonna lie. Yes, I feel the recovery time is a little bit longer. I've always been pretty good about watching what I eat, but there's definitely more an awareness. I've kicked up my spinning classes. I did my very first wimpy run this last week, so I did 2 different runs on 2 different days, and I made it to about 2 miles, which was a really big accomplishment for me. But I still have like this bloating issue, and so this is really big because it not only like messes with you physically, it messes with you emotionally. You look down there and like, well, Nicole is pregnant. I am not 100%, I promise you, but I look and feel like I'm pregnant. I'm like, why is that stomach still sticking out? And we actually have a lot of good stuff for you guys in store, so make sure that you don't have to show up to the Facebook Lives every day. We will make sure to post it. But what I asked of Nicole is that we're going to start out with the 30,000 foot view of sort of just like all the concepts. But I decided to ask Nicole to make a sort of a dummies version, sort of like, okay, it's dumb question time. I had like a ton of dumb questions that I added to Nicole's sort of plate, because there are certain things that even I don't know, and just thinking that you guys might have the same question. So, but today's going to be an overview of what we're going to talk about for the week. So Nicole, why don't you kind of kick us off and let us know what we're going to be learning about this week?
So this week is all about how to kind of get rid of that bloat and some water retention. So that bloat's that uncomfortable, like feeling your abdomen, like you're like you feel like you're pregnant. Or
Yes.
I feel like it all the time, but
no, seriously, you're gonna have to do more than 5 days worth of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 9 months total anyway. But a lot of times bloat can be changed, and some water retention can be changed through a dietary change. And so what does that look like? Big umbrella piece to that, right? So we have, certain things like eating too quickly or eating large portions. That's not just limited to those days like holidays. Those can be, us just I like to say shoveling food in your mouth, basically mindless eating kind of a thing. We tend to swallow a lot of air when we do that, and so that contributes to some of that gas that goes through your GI system and creates that bloated feeling a little bit. Bacterial imbalances, we've talked about this before, not in so much detail though, but basically that looks like we have all these bacteria in your gut, and all of them play an important role in your immune function, your mood, and then those are the guys that actually break down some of your foods, so like fibers. So certain raw vegetables, like cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, onions, those kind of vegetables actually have fibers. They're soluble fibers that we actually can't break down, but the gut bacteria can. And so when they do, what happens is they ferment those, and then it creates a gas when they do. And that creates that bloated feeling. So if you're eating broccoli or cauliflower, that's why you feel bloated after. It's because they're taking in those nutrients for you because you can't. If you were to steam those vegetables, though, actually that helps break down some of those fibers even more a little bit so that those gut bacteria don't. So it can actually reduce your bloating a little bit if you were to steam and cook those types of vegetables. Not drinking enough water. Water is super important. It, not only facilitates the digestion and absorption of certain foods, but it also moves food through your GI system. Without that, you might get constipated, things like that. And if you're dehydrated, your body doesn't know what to do, so it kind of wants to hold on to water. And so it can kind of cause a little bit of water retention. So your body needs to learn through a higher intake of water that, it's not dehydrated anymore, so let's kind of flush through the system a little bit. Foods high in sodium and sugar substitutes and sugar in general, those are mostly processed foods, right? So processed, that's kind of an abstract word a little bit. So basically what that looks like, I think of anything in a package, or anything if you were to go to the grocery store in the middle of the grocery store. So, shopping around the aisles, basically in a perimeter, is the best way to go. Those whole foods vegetables, and remember steaming those cruciferous vegetables. And some food intolerances can kind of, people are lactose intolerant, and that's going to create a little bit of bloat.
Yeah, so basically you really need to understand what causes it in the first place, because there's a different strategy. So breaking it down. So what I'm hearing from Nicole is that it was either air. There are some people who actually eat too quickly. If you grew up in a large family, or a military family, or a family with two working parents, or some of the characteristics that sort of led to eating too quickly, because either A, you weren't going to eat if you didn't eat quickly, and also another reason for eating too quickly is, the sad truth is that there's always a TV on, or there's always a phone at the dinner table, and you're even lucky that you actually are sitting at the dinner table. I know people who are eating on the island or the couch or whatnot, and what happens is that things that promote eating too quickly is because your mind is somewhere else. So like I said, if you're watching American Idol, like I was yesterday, go Gabby. Like I said, I have a 3-year-old who is kind of running all over the place, and I have Lucky, my dog, who's scratching at me, and then my husband's trying to carry on a conversation, and I'm just internally trying to listen, but then trying to keep a 3-year-old calm and a dog happy, and then the TV's in the background. Again, eating too quickly can be just one of the quickest ways to cause bloat. But so we encourage you guys to just kind of pay attention to your environment. Number one rule, if you've been through my program, never eat standing up. You got to sit down. I challenge you guys, if you're not a sitting at the dinner table family, I challenge you to do that for the next 5 days and see what kind of a world of difference it is. Another thing that I've been doing, because I've been working on my Jessica Alba body. The girls are making fun of me. I'm working on it. I've actually tried to kind of make my my food smaller. So if it's chicken, fish, steak, I would usually cut it into bite-sized pieces. Hi, Jeanette. Thanks for joining me. And Nicole, we're just totally just getting started on the causes of bloating. And I was just in the process of I'm literally cutting in literally very, very small pieces, almost to the point where I don't really have to chew if I didn't want to. And I think that slows me down. I'm not gorging and eating. Yeah. I'm taking smaller bites. Another trick, obviously I'm Asian, so I have a whole, I probably have chopsticks to feed 20 people or more, and that's just a normal thing. And so what we eat with chopsticks. We also have the standard silverware, so you have the big fork and the small fork. in the small spoon and the big spoon and all that stuff. Believe it or not, I switched to using the smaller fork and the smaller spoon. It naturally makes me eat smaller bites. So that's a neat little trick to like
the small ones and then the small plates.
Yeah, and you don't have to be Asian. You know, you can eat with chopsticks. You know, that's really going to slow you down.
It really does.
And I don't care if it is pizza, spaghetti, you know, you can eat, okay. But there are a lot of things that you can eat with chopsticks, and that will help. So those are a little bit of the tricks on eating too quickly. Number 2, we talked about not drinking enough water. So, Nicole knows that I struggle with drinking water. So, you know, for me, I swear, all last week I was totally whining that I was going to die of water intoxication. So again, give me another thumbs up if you struggle. This is my thumb going across the screen. If you struggle with water. And I tell you, it's such a silly thing. I have to either have lemon in it, or it just, I don't know, it just doesn't taste like anything. And what it does is it sits my stomach. But the trick is that the girls in the office have made sure that water is right in my sight, my eyesight, whether I'm at the computer or whatnot, so that it's just easy access. That's the best way to drink water, and that is probably one of the absolute best strategies to get rid of bloating, is because you're probably retaining water, and it seems counterintuitive, and we'll talk about that, but you actually need to drink more water for your body to release extra water. So how much would you recommend drinking in a day as far as water?
So the best way to go about that is about 2 to 3 liters a day. What does that look like? That's about 64 to 100 ounces.
So how many, so if I had a standard water bottle that I got from Target, how many is that?
So it depends on how many ounces, right? So like I have a 30-ounce one, and I'll usually aim to have at least 3.5 of those a day.
Okay.
You know, a lot of your little throwaway-able ones are about 17 ounces, so you're going to have a lot more of those if you were to have those. Obviously, it's a 20-ounce. Most of them are 20 ounces, I want to say, though.
Okay.
So 20 to 24 ounces, so at least 4 to 5 of those a day.
And if you're actually grabbing a bottled water, like a Smart Water, or what we have in the office is a Nestle water.
It's about 17
That's
ounces.
about 17 ounces. So you probably have to drink, like, what, 5
to 6. Yeah,
6 of those bottled waters if you just do that. And then...
The best way is to honestly have, and you started doing this last week, is to bring in your own refillable water bottle that you can just fill up. And so 20 to 30 ounces is the best way to go. I found for me the 30 ounces works better because I don't have to think about refilling it so many times a day.
And then I started to track it on my Fitbit just to like say, hey, you know, I'm making a statement, I'm drinking my water, I'm going to die of water intoxication, but at least I drank mine for the day. And then for my mother who doesn't have a water bottle, who just drinks out of a glass, how many glasses is that required in a day?
So most of those tend to be about a cup, so it's usually about 8 ounces. It depends on what kind of cup you're looking at, though, because all of them, you know, are going to be different sizes, you know, widths and how tall they are. I would probably say about at least 8. If you had 8 of 8 ounces, that would only be 64 ounces, though, so keep that in mind.
Yep.
Okay.
And also, again, part of the not eating too quickly and slowing down, I've really started to kind of get into the habit of like drinking water, eating a bite, drinking water, eating a bite, drinking water. And so that's kind of like a kill 2 birds with 1 stone kind of a thing. So, but those are the top 2 things that easily can make a difference right away if you just concentrate on those. The third, we talked about bacterial imbalances, and this is going to be really good. I forgot which day we decided, but we're actually going to do a complete rundown of what the heck does it mean to have bacteria in your gut? What is it doing to me? How is it benefiting me? How is it harming me? And believe it or not, we're going to walk you through probiotics, but we're also going to give you like which ones are good and which ones are not so good. I mean, at first I thought, well, you can just get like a generic, but now I'm finding that there are medical grade levels, and then if you have this certain condition, you should take this. So don't forget to catch that day. We're gonna do a whole rundown of balancing your gut, because studies are kind of now showing that your body might be run by your gut system, and there are some people who think that your gut system is actually your primary brain, and this up here might be secondary. So don't forget to catch that day. We're gonna do a whole rundown. That's Wednesday. Certain raw vegetables, that was actually pretty unique. So if one of my friends in this Facebook group, she and I share a love for cauliflower. If you love cauliflower, come talk to me. I tell you, I'm that girl that can eat a whole head of cauliflower for lunch and be like totally satisfied. But I'm not gonna lie, I admit, and I do cook them, but I still do feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I had a cauliflower baby. It stinks, because you know it's good for you, but then I look down and my stomach's like sticking out, and so it makes me not want to eat it. But certain raw vegetables, we want to make sure that you're eating fiber, but that's going to really kind of bloat you. And then foods high in sodium, sugar, both are culprits for why you're gaining so much water weight. Not gonna lie, if you're older, it's gonna get worse. And then if you have conditions like high blood pressure issues, kidney issues, and if you're not drinking enough water, it like just pounds on you. So we'll be talking about processed foods again on another day, to just, because here's the trick. It's all about like the hidden stuff. I'm gonna tell you exactly what sodium level to look at, what kind of sugars that are not so much on the nutrition label, but like the ingredient side. I mean, you're gonna be like a sodium and sugar cop by the end of this, and just eliminating those is gonna be key. And then last but not least, this is actually really important, food intolerances. So I don't know about Nicole, but here in the office, we actually do have a blood test panel that tests you for like over 100 different foods. I mean, there's some people that do 150 panel, 300. We even have an environmental that looks at like chemicals, environment, things like that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have an allergy per se where your skin turns red. You could actually be eating a food that you're reacting to that you don't realize, and it's masked by inability to sleep, frequent headaches, energy level problems. I actually did one on myself, and what it does is it categorizes you into severe, moderate, and mild. Now, thankfully, I only had 2 in my severe, but I had a long list of moderates, and even then, I started to kind of cut out some of those foods that I was almost eating on a daily basis. And I kid you not, it actually helped with my headaches. I did have trouble. I'm a chronic headache sufferer, and doing that, I tell you, my headaches have been like, I can't even remember the last time I had a headache, honestly, because I have been working so much. So food intolerances is something that we will cover. So quick recap. So figure out what your cause of bloating is, whether it's eating too fast or eating too large of a bites, not drinking enough water. Do you have a bacterial imbalance? Or are you eating, certain raw vegetables all the time, just not realizing that that's what's creating your bloating? Or are you eating too much processed foods that have high sodium or sugar content? And last but not least, maybe you're doing everything right, but the food that you are eating, you're actually reacting to. So those are the things we're gonna take a deeper dive each and every day. And feel free to pop in questions throughout the entire week. Don't wait until the day to ask your question. If it's top of mind, pop it, let us answer it, because we literally have 5 days before the pool opens, and I gotta get my bloating
under control,
ASAP off, right? So Nicole has homework for you guys.
We'll be adding to this every week so that we can, progressively get rid of some of that bloat. Today is focusing on water. So that was the 2 to 3 liters a day. So 64 to 100 ounces. Let's try to get up to 100. Our mini challenge for today is 100 ounces. Okay, so pay attention, maybe put a timer on your phone, keep a note, or, cross it off every time you have, 20 ounces, 30 ounces, and kind of go from there. For me, it works to kind of like make a mental note. I usually make a mental note, but when I first started doing it, I crossed it off on a list so that I wouldn't forget. And then I created a vegetable list for you of vegetables to kind of pay attention to versus, the cruciferous ones, which are the ones that we talked about that can create some of that bloat. And then, so I'll post that right after our video right now. So let's try to add at least one in each day. So 1 serving.
And do me a favor, post a picture of your water bottle, the bottle that you bought, or the glass of water that you have in the Facebook group. Let's just egg everybody on, and let's just encourage us to do one simple thing, but it's very powerful, of drinking water. And then later today, we will post when we will be going on Facebook Live again tomorrow. We want to kind of change the times a little bit so that we can capture some people, because we know that you guys are at work and things like that. So we'll give some variety. But good luck. Get your water intake in, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right, bye guys.
See ya.